Let's continue. Mobile computing and mobile devices. So mobile computer, né, or computing basically in the farming environment can use mobile devices to capture images, data of every aspect of the farm, send these to the manager or the farmer or the farm office. So the definition there of mobile computing that we can see there in the blue column refers basically to the technology that allows users to send and receive data, for example, audio, images, text, videos using the device that can move around with the particular user or farmer. Mobile communication technologies, this is used to transmit data on mobile devices. So this includes cellular networks, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, near field communication, which is NFCs, like some of your cell phones do have the NFC function, which you can tap at any till or so forth to make a payment. Mobile hardware is similar to computer hardware. So here we look at the various mobile devices that we can use. So smartphones, the size of the smartphone is displayed 8 to 13 centimeters as described above. Mobile phones can be used as a computer and are very useful on the arm to keep open communication to managers and also workers. Then we look at tablets. This is similar to a smartphone, but usually 12 to 18 centimeters in size. Tablets also have a touch screen for navigation purposes, and their primary operation is the same as the mobile phone. Tablets. So similar to smartphones, but they're usually a bit bigger, which is 18 to 28 centimeters in size. Large screen than the tablet, and is ideal for work with carry around or to carry around on the farm. E-readers for reading e-books even in low light conditions, like your Kindle books and so forth. Handheld devices, which is your portable video games or consoles. For instance, there we see in the picture a PSP from Sony. Advantages and disadvantages of mobile technologies. As we have seen, computers has transformed ways of doing business, and mobile technology plays a critical role in everyday lives. So the advantages of a mobile or mobile technology is basically connectivity, the social engagement, the flexibility it allows, communication, personalization, and then modernization. So what are those? So connectivity, you can stay connected at all times. Your social engagements, you can interact with friends on open websites or even on an app, for instance WhatsApp. Flexibility, you can make and accept payments wirelessly through NFC or tap to pay. Communication, the increased ability to communicate in and out of the workplace via emails, video conference, and also meetings. The personalization, you can personalize your mobile computing experience to your individual needs. Modernization, you have a greater access to modern apps and services. On the other hand, we also have disadvantages. So these are your privacy may be affected, cost, you as a risk against IT security, durability of theft and risk, and then additional training is also needed. So privacy. Your personal data is easily collected every time you accept a cookie. Hence, nowadays, you see when you open a website, they send you a link. Do you accept the cookies or do you not accept them to share your cookies? Cost. Mobile devices are often costly to purchase and cannot be easily upgraded. Hence, we upgrade now every second or third year. Majority of contracts now, because of the durability of the phones, last longer. So your contract is also now longer, which is about 3 years. IT security risk. Mobile devices are often vulnerable to security risk and they are usually contain sensitive personal or business data. Durability and theft risk. Mobile devices break easily and can easily be stolen, depending how you utilize it. So obviously on a farm, you're quite active, you engage with various activities that may allow the phone to break. Additional training needs. The farmer may need to train the staff in how to use new technology when implemented in the business as well. So those are the advantages and disadvantages of mobile technologies. So here we just look at the startup or shutdown of a particular computer which you do have in front of you, which is a desktop. So at the top we can see startup and shutdown a computer. There's usually a button that allows you to switch it on for the computer to boot. And then we have the taskbar that will allow us to manage applications and updates. You also have security options regarding your firewall and so forth. You can check the memory usage on the computer as well. This would be your file management. It allows you to order your files accordingly. Now, as I will teach you to do so in a proper manner, and then provide also graphical interface on the side. As you can see, everything you can see, it's not blur, it has a good display, and yes, next you can manage the computer's hardware resources, for instance your keyboard, your mouse, and also the printer, and then establishing an connection via the internet either through a LAN cable or wirelessly. Here we look at the differentiation between the software or system software and also application software. System software, which is also called the OS, operating system. These programs allow the computer to start up and also function. They control the computer's hardware and also software. They run an application on the computer. System software is written in assembly language and machine code and can run independently. Only a computer technician should handle system software. On the other hand, is application software, which we are all used to. These programs can only work on once the computer is started. They allow you as the user to interact with the computer directly. They perform specific tasks for you as well. For instance, printing documents, sending an email like your Gmail account or Microsoft or Outlook. They manage the computer's performance, memory and speed. You can start and stop them whenever you want. For instance, application, I just opened up PowerPoint. It's an application software that comes with Microsoft. It's not necessarily a system software. So here we just look at basically the operating systems of various devices. So personal computers use Microsoft, your Windows 8, Windows 11. Apple uses macOS, Ubuntu. There's also Linux. Then you get your smartphones, which uses Google Android operating system. Apple uses your iOS. And then you get your smartwatches, which uses Google Wear or operating system 3. We look at computer servers, which uses Windows Server, Linux, Enterprise, Mac uses OS X server, and then autonomous, driverless vehicle server, several operating systems work together, e.g. Linux and so forth. And then lastly, drones, also drones that flies in the air also have operating system which uses FlyTOS. And then we just have an acronym there, information of things, which means the network of physical objects having software and sensors for communicating with one another over the internet. So that's basically the definition. Apps for small scale farmers. So disease detection and diagnosis. Farmer can take photos plants that show signs of disease and send them to experts. Fertilizer calculator. Soil sensors, leaf colors can determine what nutrients the farmer should add to the soil. And then soil study. The farmer can capture soil images and chemical data from sensors to the manager's soil conditions. Water study. The farmer can see the leaf area index from photos and brightens logging, which helps to determine crops and water needs. Lastly, we look at crop harvest and readiness camera photos with lights accurately predict crop ripeness. So that is the softwares that you can utilize on your farms as well. Okay, so here we basically look at how do we intend, what criteria should we use when we are buying a computer. Remember we learned about computer, but now you feel like you need to buy yourself a computer or a laptop or so forth. So here's just a few steps what you need to determine. So firstly, step 1, you need to determine what task you need to perform. You need a high performing personal computer or low performing one. You see that small one, notebook, for study, but for farming maybe you need a big one or a big desktop. Step 2, determine what software you need. Any software that is free or that you need to pay for, like Microsoft, to do your data analysis and stuff like that on farming. Step 2 is done. Step 3, we determine what the hardware specification is. The software manufacturer's minimum and recommended hardware requirements for best performance. You need to take that into consideration as well. Step 4, we determine the level of portability that you need. You need to decide how important it is. Are you going to move with it? You're going to go from office to office. You're going to travel cross country. So then you need a laptop. You see, you don't need a desktop. So you need to determine that. Step 5, we're looking at determine your storage requirements. So your hard disk drive or your solid disk drive, how big should it be? Should it be a 128 gig? Should it be a 2265 gig? Should it be a terabyte, which is 500 gig? And so forth. Step 6, you determine what is your budget. Determine how much money is available to buy that particular product or computer. And then lastly, you determine the warranty of the after sales, meaning do you need an upgrade, do you need to fix it, What is the requirements regarding that as well? Concepts of a wearable device. Here we look at smartwatches. So technical or technology is used in wearable devices is applicable to smart farming sensors. So you get the location sensors, which is used in GPS, optical sensors, which is use light measurements of the soil, mechanical sensors, airflow sensors as well, which measures the soil's properties such as compact structure, soil type, and then agricultural weather stations are self-contained units that are placed at various locations. Difference between Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and near field connectivity. So all of this is wireless. Ne? So your Wi-Fi is wireless networking protocol that is using radio signals which conform to 802.11 standards developed by Institute of Electronic and Electronic Engineers. So basically your computer devices have Wi-Fi capabilities, which is your cell phone as well, and it enables computers to connect to each other as well through a radio wave. Bluetooth, which we're all familiar with, technology uses short-range radio signals to transmit data between two Bluetooth-enabled or devices over a short range. Near field communications, which is NFC. Some of our phones is compatible with NFC. My watch is also compatible with NFC. Uses close range radio signals to transmit data between two NFC enabled devices. Meaning you can tap and pay at the till if your phone is NFC enabled and your card is loaded as well. And there we have an activity that we need to complete, and that is unit 1.